not to come third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. We are competing to win. For a victory.
All right, we've just finished round 9 in F1, Silverstone Grand Prix. Actually managed to turn it on a bit. My name's Josh.
I'm Brenton.
Yeah, and, just when you've got people complaining about, Vijay Malaya told Bernie he needed to uncrap F1.
We did too, yeah.
It managed to turn up a bit of an interesting race.
It was brilliant. You hear the press about F1 being, or the negative press in F1's been a big factor these days, especially with the uncrap F1 meeting that was held last week, I think, or during the week or last week, whichever one it was. It was really good to see the British fans, they've been there since the original Formula One.
That's right with that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Pass it around as fact now. The English fans won't deny it. But it was good to see that it's giving, I wouldn't say Bernie, but whoever's going to take control next, the impression that it's not best to go to countries where governments are trying to buy sort of favours and popular sort of votes because they've got pretty shit human rights records. But anyway, stick it where the fans want it and they're going to appreciate it. The other thing which I think we have to give the English fans credit for this, we like to give them a lot of shit, and we still will, but you've had the Formula E Grand Prix, which is a cracker, championship deciding weekend in the middle of London. You've got Wimbledon going on. You've got the Ashes have just started, and they've packed out the first practice of Formula One.
Yeah, it's like Melbourne. They've just decided, look, the weather's a bit shit, but it's London, that's going to happen.
Yep.
We'll rock up anyway. And I tell you what, I don't think anyone walked away from any of those disappointed.
No.
Especially if you like seeing Nick Kyrgios do his nana at everything.
Yeah. I think so. We've got to give the British fans a well-deserved round of applause for that one. So well done, guys. And don't expect too many nice things being said about you. But
unfortunately, Ash is about to start, so you can probably end right there. You guys are going to get smashed.
Yeah, we'll be doing an Ashes podcast as well. So if you get sick of the on-field misery, or if you want to make eat our own words, then listen in.
Yeah, I'll bet a cherry ripe on Australia to win every match.
Oh, we're betting pints all day. Pints all day.
But anyway, back on to Silverstone.
Yeah.
Quali really didn't throw up that many surprises.
No.
The guys that are missing out, Merion, Stevens, Button, Alonso, Felipe Nasser, he had trouble all weekend with his engine unit.
Yeah.
But looking at Meri, 1:39 is his quali time, and when you're looking at pole is a 1:32, and they're looking after their tyres at that time.
Yeah.
You're kind of thinking, fuck me, where is Marussia going to go?
Exactly. And you look at, they had an extra sponsor on this weekend, I think. It was Bodyflex or
they've actually done okay getting sponsorships.
They have done well, yeah.
And I guess, when the camera's on the leader and they're getting lapped by the leader the most, they're probably trying to translate that into sponsorship dollars, which,
it's hard to do.
Even on the last car in F1, you're still getting in front of 100 million people.
Yeah, you look at the McLaren, that's pretty barren with sponsorship at the moment, and they've had a downturn in form. So
the barren McLaren.
Yep, just sort of attracting any sort of new sponsors to Formula One is a great effort from Marussia. So, I'm pretty sure at the start of the season, I canned them as just trying to appease creditors and make it worthwhile to sell. But completely wrong on that one. I think Graham Loden down there has been doing an excellent job. But maybe they are still trying to put a value in it and sell it, but it's going to be a worthwhile buy at least.
Or maybe old Graham's just trying to get himself a better job. Because if I can smash this out, he can then send the resume into McLaren and say, look, boys, here's what I did with this piece of shit.
Well, that's pretty fair reasoning too.
He'd get a pay rise.
Bloody oath. And you saw McLaren get a Bullier from Lotus after he did a pretty good job there. And they've sunk him right in the shit. So maybe Loden will take it from Bernie or something, put his resume in for that one.
Yeah, in fairness, you can only polish and glitter a turd so far.
Yeah, and I think the real story with qualifying as well was the sort of strict policy on adhering to the track limits. I can't remember what turn it was, but Charlie Whiting started, or was it Charlie Whiting or Nigel Mansell? I can't remember who was in charge of that. Yeah, he was a driver steward, but I can't remember who does the deleting. Anyway, they started deleting track times like they were threads on F1 Technical or something.
Yeah, I think Mansell, he doesn't mind a bit of a pint. And I think the moustache might have taken over.
He speaks like he's about 8 deep permanently.
But you can imagine him going, nah, fuck him, nah, Verstappen, fuck Verstappen, I can't even fucking say it, nah.
That was never all right in my days.
And he just I can imagine him and Coulthard having a couple of quiet brews.
I'd like to see him and Arriva Benny talk to each other. I think they'd seriously bore each other to sleep just with the sound of their voice.
Actually, I think Coulthard and Mansell probably took the same helmet size too.
I think they're more likely to fight if they ever had a pint together, as opposed to have a conversation.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure DC isn't a huge fan of Mansell
but
and
they're
vice
Northerners.
versa.
Just because they're going to fight doesn't mean they don't like each other.
Well, one's Scottish and one's English, so I reckon go for it. It'll be almost like your champion of Britain or whatever the fuck you.
I don't know.
If they're still in Britain, I don't understand the Isles and the UK, all that shit.
Yeah, it's like the Irish. You can belt the piss out of each other and then drink afterwards, or you can drink first and then belt the piss out of each other. The order doesn't really matter.
That's exactly right.
But in the end, there's violence, alcohol, and maybe some sobbing and singing songs.
And cheering fans.
Yeah, and then they can both gang up on the Americans or something.
Yeah. So we saw Ricciardo got his final time deleted because he exceeded the track limits. It would have put him in seventh, I think, ahead of Kvyat, but wasn't to be. Exceeded the track limits, dropped down to 10th. But
Yeah, all round a shitful weekend for Danny Rick.
yeah, it was. And I expected a bit better from Red Bull, but it's a bit hard when your car just stops working. But yeah, 7th and 10th. I think they'd be disappointed, but they wouldn't be surprised, if that makes sense.
Well, it just seems that Renault just aren't interested anymore.
Yeah.
When they were winning, Carlos Ghosn was in charge of Red Bull. He was fronting the media every chance he got. He was trying to get every microphone in front of his face.
And he was turning up. So
Yeah, and now that they're struggling, he just seems to not give a shit. Which it seems like for the last few years, when Red Bull was winning, he kept trying to. All right, we're winning. Can we win with less?
Yeah.
And then can we win with less? Can we win with
Yeah.
less? And until the downward spiral in resources meant that when every other team caught up and the rules changed,
Yeah.
they didn't have the resources to adapt. So now they're getting smashed, and he's like, "What? I have to spend more money again?"
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we'll be fine. We'll just keep it as it is, and we'll be fine. It's like,
Yep.
that's not the way this shit works. I have no idea how some of these administrators get their jobs.
Yeah.
They must just suck dick like hoovers.
Well, especially they never capitalised on the marketability of winning 4 drivers and 4 constructors championships, and I think Red Bull were a bit disappointed in that as well. It's like we've achieved this, and I don't see any special edition car or anything like that. But
No, it's a fucking Renault.
But
Like, what is the sportiest Renault you can think of?
you say, look, Mr. Newey, you get down here and design a car for us, and we'll slap a Vettel sticker on it, and away we go.
I have no idea why they didn't
Easy
do
as
that.
that.
I think they did a Vettel edition of one of the little hatches. But who gives
Yeah.
a fuck about that?
Exactly right. I think it was an Infinity, a Vettel Infinity or something like that. It looked like
I think it was the Q60.
it looked like a rip-off of
Q50.
fucking Victoria Beckham's Land Rover. That
Yeah, it
thing.
wasn't pretty. Infinity don't have that hot car yet. Their Q80 comes out next year, I believe.
Yeah.
And that looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But a lot of their cars are just meh.
Yeah, I'm the same. And I mean, you're not doing yourself any favours nowadays. Going so
there's-
shit.
There's so many other cars in the Renault stable. I mean, what if you ended up going to Nissan and said, all right, we're doing a Vettel Edition GTR? That motherfucker would fly.
Yeah, I don't reckon the Japs would be too keen on letting the Germans get a hand of their, or naming one of their GTRs after a German.
Yeah, they
that's gonna happen.
they don't give a shit. Especially if they get to have a look at some of the other tech they can see over in Germany.
Oh, they probably already are. Probably got spies going on, all sorts of shit. They're running the micro technology. I think
Yeah,
just
well-
building cars aren't going so well for
Then again, last time
Japanese friends.
the Japanese and Germans teamed up, the world wasn't really a fan of that sort of shit.
I don't know. I've seen lots of movies about it. They have a day for it every year.
Yeah, it ended with a bang.
We
That was the
celebrate it.
problem.
It's a celebration.
But, at least something good had come out of it. Can you imagine even if Vettel is a bit of a tit, he could probably make a GTR that was even more exciting than the current one, if that's possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you just probably take all the traction control off it and get it sideways. I think the difference is you could strip just about everything out of the GTR, and it'd be just as good because of the driver. That's it. It's pretty much made like the electronic assistance makes you able to be a Formula One driver, just about.
And I'm basing that on just assumption and PlayStation, really. But
That's all I'm basing on. It's Gran Turismo.
yeah. But anyway, we saw Sainz Jr. did pretty well, actually,
Yeah.
in qualifying up in 8th. He's having a good season. But
He
again, he and Verstappen are just suffering so badly because they're smashing the big team, Red
Yeah.
Bull. But then the car dies in the race.
Yeah, and the thing is, Verstappen, he's sort of taken a lot of the credit because he's so young, and so people are a bit surprised having a backpedal on things they said pre-season about him. So I think that's kind of just put signs in the shadow a bit, but I think he's been more consistent than Verstappen. He's
I think
kept his
he's
nose
been
a
more
bit cleaner.
professional.
Yeah, it looks
But
like
mind you, Verstappen's 17, so
yeah,
fuck me.
this is true. And look, I'm not against Verstappen for the attitude, the way he's approached it, because I think you've got to if you're going to be successful, and that's the attitude you're looking for in drivers. So, you know, I mean, I don't particularly like it, but I understand. You know, it's just the way it's going to be.
Actually, it was a funny thing from him when they were talking about the Grand Prix Drivers Association.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm not going to be a member. I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
I'm not paying them." And they asked him why. You know, they're trying to improve safety. They're trying to get things happening.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, you know, I have to pay them, and I don't see them doing much. And if I go in there, are they going to listen to a 17-year-old boy?
Yep.
No.
That's a good
You
point.
know, I can't imagine Fernando Alonso, Kimi Raikkonen,
Yeah.
you know, Sebastian Vettel talking,
Yeah.
and then up pops Verstappen with, I actually think we should do it this way. They'd be like, shut the fuck up, Junior, and sit down.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree because I think he just about is Fernando Alonso 15, 20 years ago. How old's Fernando these days? 35. So.
Yeah, 34.
Yeah, he's like a younger.
I think.
Because I mean, Alonso was a bit of an arsehole when he was younger, when he was first coming up.
He's a bit of an arsehole now.
Yeah, it's true.
Even the nicest F1 guys, which I put Danny Ricciardo up there, you
Yeah.
have to have that bit of arsehole.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, as soon as you put that helmet on, you need to be like, nah, fuck everyone else, I'm going at it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, in the race itself, the one who didn't, I thought was Bottas. He
Yep.
didn't have enough arsehole about him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, let's move on to the race then. So it was the start, wasn't it, that sort of played at everyone's hands. He had Lewis complaining about his tyre temperature.
Yeah, but that's under his control.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know. It just seems says a lot about the headspace in the warm lap when you're going into it, and especially where they're changing the rules from next race, I think, or no, from August to completely manual starts, so no assistance. So these things are going to become more and more important. Is how you get the tyres up to temperature on the out lap or your siding lap, and wow, Williams just blitzed them, both of them.
They've had good starts for a long time,
Yeah.
and Massa's ability to smash that one,
Yep.
it just looked fantastic.
Remind me of Alonso in the Ferraris when he was
Yes.
doing that.
Yeah, he had some brilliant starts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it seems like McLaren's stuck in reverse at the moment.
Yeah,
But
Yep.
look, that was with McLaren. This is the pain they knew they'd have.
yeah,
But I think they kind of thought there'd be a little bit more brightness and speckles on there. They
Yeah.
thought they'd be fighting for points instead of celebrating a point.
yeah, yep.
But look, it's the way it's going to be. And next year, I reckon they'll be coming back. But for this race, they had one that fucking sucked.
Yeah,
going
it was like
the
the first instant, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first corner, the Maldonado and Grosjean hit caused the two McLarens to come together, and
I think-
Alonso
I think
pitted
it
for
was-
a nose cone.
I think it was Ricardo getting a bit out of shape there, I reckon, after race.
I won't have you besmirch my good mate
Yeah,
Ricardo's name.
I didn't see it, so I'm just saying that's what they were saying. And, you know, drivers are full of shit most of the time, so I wouldn't believe them. But, yeah, apparently you got a bit out of shape, and that caused a bit of a chain reaction between the two Lotuses. But the thing is, that's the
I
same
don't-
as
I don't
same as
think-
every other race ever.
I don't think Maldonado and Grosjean need any encouragement to get out of shape.
No, not at all. I mean, both of them are wasting more money than Greece Treasury at the moment, so...
Jesus Christ. I tell you what, if Greece went into carbon fibre panel beating,
Yeah.
they could recover half their debt in a couple of races, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe they've lost it to invest in that same shit as well.
Just send a Greek guy around. It was like, my friend, he will fix you. That was a terrible Greek. That was more Italian, but yeah.
Maybe their Greek friend is Italian anyway.
Fuck it, who knows?
It's real, it's going on Calabria or something. Lap 4, that's when Verstappen ended up going out, I think. I don't know if it was a fallout from something in that first lap incident, if he somehow got too close to someone, but it looks like he just lost it going straight or just touching the curb or something. And I found it funny that, I think it was last week or maybe this week lead up to the race, he was talking the Toro Rosso being the second best car on the grid. As soon as he loses it, going more or less straight, and it's the worst piece of shit machinery ever.
Yeah. What we talked about before with Bottas being a bit too nice, I thought that was what happened with Hamilton. Because he's trying to hold Hamilton off, and they're
Yeah.
a bit side by side. You see when they're pulling into the S-Bends,
Yep.
he gave Hamilton far too much room.
Yeah, I
and
agree,
didn't
yeah.
close the door.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, if you want to be the nice guy, that's fine. But Hamilton didn't fucking return the favour.
Yeah, and he never would.
No, look, you have to have that sort of competitive nature.
Yeah.
You don't want to bump the dude off the road, but you need to make him believe that gap's going to close.
If he's not on the road, it's good for you. So, I mean, and you get the right. If you're in front like that, you got the right to take the proper racing line, which was coming out of that corner and pushing him off the road. But then you had to keep that line and not try and go back on the racing line, because that's what screwed him, was that
Yeah.
you're not going fast enough to warrant that being a faster line.
And in the end, he did manage to stick past Hamilton, but he was getting held up by Massa. And
Yeah.
there was a bit of talk in the commentary, should they let him through or whatever. It did seem like Bottas had the pace, and he could have made the move stick.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, they said, no, stay back. And when they finally released him, the tyres were too even, and he couldn't get the move done.
Yeah.
Plus, Massa, he's been around a bit. He's seen all the tricks.
Exactly right. And if there's anyone who's familiar with team orders, it's going to be Massa. So
Yeah, but the problem was they did it exactly wrong.
Yeah,
If you're going to let people go, let them go at the start.
yeah,
And, they can sort out their own order.
Yeah.
But as it was, by having Bottas held back at the start,
yeah,
it meant that he was pushing all over Massa and allowing Hamilton to catch up.
Yeah.
And then once they said, if you can pass him, then Massa had to go defensive,
Yeah.
which slows up both of them, which means that Hamilton catches up again.
yeah. I mean, that's exactly right.
I mean, if Williams are looking for a race strategist, I'm available. I'd make no guarantees, but I'll tell you what, you guys made every wrong decision this weekend.
That's exactly right. I mean, I think that their logic of people have been talking about team orders a lot after this race, and regardless if you're for team orders or against team orders, this was the wrong call. Because if you're for team orders, the order should have been to allow Valtteri through, and then they could help each other pull away like that.
Or drop Valtteri back. Have him defend Hamilton, like one way or the other.
Yeah.
Because what you want, ideally, is a 1-2 finish.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen while both races are racing each other and holding each other up.
Yeah.
They need to either let the faster guy through and the slower guy backs the pack up a little bit,
Yeah.
or vice versa. The slower guy goes ahead, conserves tyres a little bit, lets them catch up, and Bottas holds up Hamilton and Rosberg. Because
Yeah.
as soon as you back Hamilton and Rosberg, you know they're going to fight.
Yeah.
But as it was, they gapped Rosberg and let Hamilton all over their ass.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it makes no sense to me, and I would tell you what, I would be scared of Claire Williams on a rampage. She seemed like she'd have a bit of fire and brimstone about her.
Bloody oath. And, I mean, the logic for it was they were saying, let's not overtake, let's work together and pull away. I think they've been watching too much Tour de France, because it's just not how it works.
No,
And
especially when you're already in the DRS zone.
Well, especially when the people you're trying to pull away from built your engine.
Yeah.
Like, they probably got the same engine as you, I reckon. Maybe better.
Well, it's not going to be worse. But it just didn't make much sense. And look, I don't know why. I dare say Frank Williams had a few things to say about it too. I don't know if anyone understood them, but he would have had a few things to say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, then again, it could have been coming from him, so maybe everyone just shut the fuck up when that one didn't work out.
Maybe they just told him, yeah, totally worked well, boss. Another 1-2 finish. We did well. That's the 9th of the year. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about the team radio when they're saying it's too late to overtake now. You can see Valtteri almost pulled alongside him. It was like, you could have ordered a cheeseburger and fries from him. It was that close.
Yeah. But, with the start, how good was Hulkenberg?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
gunned it.
Williams did brilliantly, but Hulkenberg went from 9th to 5th.
Yeah.
And just cut through them like a knife.
Yep.
Fully committed. He is doing fucking fantastically since his WEC win.
Yeah, he's driving way above the potential of that car. But
he needs a better car.
Yeah.
Put him in a better car next year. I have no clue why any team wouldn't want him. He has just shown reliability, ambition, tenaciousness, and just that determination to make it happen.
Yep, and the team could have got him for cheap before this season.
Well, I still think you're getting for cheap because he just wants to be in a good car.
Yeah, that's true.
I think if you went to him and said, look, we're not going to pay you shit, but we'll give you a ride in a Merc, and Rosberg's twisted his ankle or some bullshit, I don't know. Or a Ferrari, I dare say he'd jump at the chance.
Exactly. Oh, he's German as well, so...
Yeah, I think he's probably going to get shut out, though. I can't see Mercedes moving, and if Ferrari get another driver in, it's probably going to be Bottas, Ricciardo, one of those guys.
Yeah.
But I think it'll happen for the Hulk. I think he's got a good chance. He just needs to keep plugging away.
Definitely. And I mean, that's one of the good things coming through is we always complain about the pay drivers getting too much opportunity. But it's good to see a couple that are getting through the cracks, like Bottas and... Well, I mean, Ricciardo had a pretty strong driver program coming through, but makes it interesting for the good drivers that are waiting in the wings, which we'll get onto that McLaren in a bit. But what's happened? That's all right. Once they finally gave the order that Bottas was allowed to overtake Massa, Massa using the tear-off strips like they're banana peels.
Yeah, he did a bit of the Mario Kart thing, didn't he?
Wow, it's a bit of a wily veteran move, isn't it?
Look, I don't think that should be looked at all.
Nah.
But I do think that's a very veteran move. That's Schumacher-esque.
Yeah, that's just, I went close to you. Wow, I've got a few bugs in my visor now.
Yeah, I think he didn't throw the glove out. I think he thought about it.
Yeah.
But look, it's one of those moves that, while probably technically against the spirit of good competition for all old boy, that spirit was never really alive anyway.
He's too old to be playing that shit now. He's like, I don't give a fuck. What are you going to do?
Especially when he has had a shit few years.
Yeah.
And when he saw that chance at the top step, he's like, I'm fucking taking this.
Yep, and as he should have too. I mean...
Do you reckon if they told him to pull over and let Bottas past, he would have done it? Or would he have been like, sorry, radio, can't hear?
I think maybe he would have begrudgingly done it, but it wouldn't... I mean, he would have made it easy, but he would have been saying, I'm sticking on his gearbox, and when he doesn't get away from me, I'm taking him back again.
Yeah, which, that was probably a fair enough call, but I think Bottas would have gapped him, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, and then... Next defining moment in the race was the Hamilton undercut.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they managed to hold each other up. When Hamilton pitted from third, he managed to get both of them.
Yeah, but there's also a bit of funny buggers from Merck as well, trying out a fake pit stop.
Yes, that's
a bit cheeky.
I did see Susie Wolf came out and said, who are you trying to fool to Toto? So, look, technically you're supposed to punish that. You're not allowed to go out and set up a pit stop unless your guys are actually coming in.
Yeah.
But... it was very early in the window, so I don't see it being a big deal. They didn't block anyone's access to the garage, being the last garage.
Yeah.
So, I actually don't mind the mind games on it, as long as you're not blocking anyone's access.
Exactly right. As long as you're not physically getting the road of anyone's race, that pit box is yours. I think you do whatever the fuck you want in that pit box.
Otherwise, I think most other... Like, if you're Ferrari and you're next to Mercedes in the pit boxes, I think it was Red Bull next to Mercedes, anyway, you'd have someone out there 24/7, just so they can't pull in easy.
Yeah.
And maybe leave a few spare tyres or tools around.
Yeah, you'd have some big Italian gesticulating there, do an opera or something, make it as wide as possible.
Have a dinner, I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing is, the other thing was that there's been lots of complaints about the overregulation of Formula One as well. So I thought it was good that, technically it was a breach of the rules, but they didn't come down with a heavy hand in that situation because it would have taken something away from the race. Yeah,
and look, it didn't affect the race at all.
Yeah, so at least with the track limits, they didn't qualify, and then in the race, they let it go for a lot. They were just saying, look, this is the way it's got to be because you have to respect the race limit. You can't get the advantage from going off track. But in the race, things happen. You've got other things to concern yourself with.
Like not dying.
That's exactly right. That's an important part to winning a race.
Yeah, look, F1 drivers have so much to think about. Like, just looking at that steering wheel, there's like 60 different options on that fucking thing. And you got to think about that. And at the start, you got to think about all the cars around you, what speed you're doing, what gear you're in. Are you over-revving? Are you under-revving? Do you have front grip, rear grip? How's the downforce feeling?
Yep.
Where's my teammate? What the fuck is going on? And then you got to follow the racing line and then try and not to crash into everyone, try not to let them crash into you, trying to brake predictably. There's so many fucking things to think about. I don't think worrying about 30 centimetres of track helps anyone.
That's it, yeah. Trying to get that Good Girls cans out of your head as well. It's always tough. The other thing,
well, for everyone except Nico Rosberg.
Well, this is true. The other thing, Lewis, he's got a sticker on the front of his helmet. It looks like sort of, I don't know how to put this, but under the hood of lady parts.
Well,
have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Looks like it's got like a couple of ovaries coming down a uterus in a little
But let's
badge.
be honest, Hamilton's fashion sense pretty much sticks on the knobhead end of the scale. There's a picture I'll put up on Facebook in a bit. He had weird red foo glasses with flip-up mirror lenses that he was wearing afterwards, and he generally seems to shop at Dickheads R Us.
Yeah, well, now it was vagina, so now his vagina heads are us, I guess. So.
Well, yeah. But look, I think he's wealthy enough that that's considered eccentric.
But it was right over his mouth. That's what I don't get. And you got Nico with Tampax on his forehead.
Yeah.
You've got Hamilton with some reproductive diagrams on his
birth
mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going on down there at Mercedes, but I don't know. Maybe the Fourth Reich's back.
I don't know, maybe Freud's been doing their marketing.
Yeah, or
their painting.
Yeah, so just interesting little tidbit there for you. Then they followed in Ricciardo losing power in his engine, calling it a day.
Well, yeah, that was a similar story for most of Renault, really.
Most of this year, yeah.
Well, they only had... who'd they finish? Poor old Renault. Let's have a look. Kvyat was the only one that finished. For
Yeah.
Renault, they lost out with both Toro Rossos. Sainz Jr. dropped out on 31. He was having a decent race at that time.
Yeah.
Lapping fairly consistently. And Danny Rick at lap 20, and then Verstappen at lap 3. And I think all three of them were engine related, or the power unit. Some of them were having issues with the actual motor section, others with the recharge.
And I mean, Sainz having issues trying to figure out where he parks a sick Formula 1 car. You don't park it at the exit of a fucking turn. Like, that was just stupid. They talk about safety in Formula 1 and, we're making all these concessions in the name of safety. And then
especially when it's greasy.
And you go do something like that. That's just fucking stupid. Like, that should be penalised.
I'm glad they did safety car it, because when the Bianchi thing happened a while back, it was the same sort of thing. Cars in a runoff area. All right, we're going to have to get marshals and machinery out.
Yeah.
And they didn't safety car it. And a lot of very esteemed commentators said, well, it shouldn't be necessary. You're right, it shouldn't. But that time it fucking was. And a dude, well, we still don't know if he's going to come out of his coma.
Yeah.
He's paying the price of, he didn't help his own matters, but come on, we need to look after the drivers when we can.
Yeah, the thing is, I love safety cars. It bunches it up, adds another little element of excitement. I just don't like them taking fucking 10 laps.
Yeah.
Like, there's an easy way to do it. And I think it's the other thing...
Well, for that one, they had the virtual safety car.
Instead of a virtual safety car, why don't we just make it that you're not allowed to overtake the Marussias?
Oh, fuck
Do
me.
that. Then everyone's got to bunch up. Can't overtake them. It's like a little mini battle behind everyone, but you're just not allowed to overtake the Marussias. That'd be sensational. That'd be like the most exciting safety car ever.
Either that or the safety car is just last year's car. Like, whoever
The
wins...
Marussias.
No, whoever wins the World Championship, their winning car becomes the next year's safety car.
Yeah, except for these days, the safety car will be going like 10 seconds a lap quicker than the current cars.
Could be fucking interesting then, couldn't it?
Imagine if they had like the V10 from, where was it, 2002? Is that when they were around? 2004, something like that?
2004. It could be interesting to see who drove that.
You'd have to give it to Takuma Sato, surely.
Could you imagine if they had former drivers like Webber?
Yeah.
Vettel's leading the thing. Webber's driving the safety car. He's like, backing this motherfucker up.
Brake test.
Oh, someone's crashed into the safety car. How the fuck that happened? It's all right, lads. Got another one.
Payback's a bitch, cunt.
Actually, his book's out too. I need to read that.
Yeah,
looks like it'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Did you see? I think it was who's the New Zealand fella? Mitch racing GP2. I think it is GP3. Mitch Evans.
Yep.
Yeah, who's I think he's under Webber's wing doing something with him. But he posted a picture of him when he was, I think, 5, and now when he's 20 or something like that. And Evans is like, "Geez, what happened?" And Webber replies, "Your balls dropped, mate."
Fucking dry.
But, yep, that's pretty much it.
But yeah, I mean, towards the end, the good thing was seeing both Marussias managed to finish the race.
Yeah.
They've been doing pretty well in terms of finishing.
Yeah, they have. Well, you remember, it was at Chilton when he was with them, or Marussia or Manor, whatever they were, and that guys. He had like a incredible run of finishes.
Yeah, in fairness, they've got the Ferrari engines, which are probably the second best engine on the grid, and they're not really pushing them that hard.
That's exactly right. I mean,
It seems like they're rev limited or something.
yeah, and the aero hasn't been developed at all since last year, I don't think. So
No, I think their aero is pretty much just give a 4-year-old a crayon
yeah,
and see what works.
and I mean they're doing a good job for what their budget must be.
$10.
Yeah, fuck all, run on credit more or less. It's just trying to find any banks that'll give them a credit card and away you go. But yeah, like you said, with Hamilton getting the undercut, Williams was a bit too late on that call. I thought Williams should have been driving the race there and initiating the call to go against the undercut. I thought it could have been a chance that they bring Bottas in and stick him on a different strategy to Felipe.
To me, that would have been smarter because Bottas is getting held up. All right, drop him back, get some clean air, get some new tyres, and off you go. But instead, they just sort of did a wait and see, and they didn't have the initiative. They didn't control the race.
Yep. And one thing I think with Williams is that they tend to have shown that their pressure decision making has been horrible. Like
it's been conservative.
Yeah. They've made off track good judgments off track and good calls off track, but when it's in the crunch time, and that's the winning time.
It seems like no one wants to be wrong.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
instead of taking what seems like a risk.
Yeah.
No one wants to be the one to front up with Frank and Claire and say, "Oh yeah, I fucked up."
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's a top-down issue, and everyone's just trying to yes man it, or whether it's just the way they've decided their season's going to be. They wanted consistency rather than to go for wins. But if you're not trying to win, what are you doing out there?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like, I dare say, if you got Will Stevens leading a race, he's going to try and keep that fucking spot.
Yeah.
Even if he has to drive Hamilton, Rosberg, and every other driver off the track,
Yeah.
he's going to think, fuck me, I'm in a chance here. I don't give a shit if I'm in the worst car.
Exactly.
I want to be on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, and I mean, he's unrelentless. Relentless.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking for.
But it seems like the engineers are too worried about offending the race, the Williamses.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's also, is it Patrick Head or Patrick Simmons down there?
Simmons, I believe.
He's the one that owns the other half of Williams, isn't he? Well, not the other half, a quarter or whatever he's got of it.
But yeah, like if you're a race engineer, your job is to get your driver as far up that fucking order as possible. And if that means driving all the way by your teammate, so be it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're racing him too.
Yeah.
The team can say, we want the best result for the team. That's cool. They'll still sack your ass if you get beaten consistently by your teammate.
And the thing is, I mean, with Robert Smedley coming over from Ferrari, I thought his days of being scared of management would have been over. But, yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. Maybe there's just too many decision makers.
Yeah.
Maybe it ends up being a discussion that goes on too long. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You need that one arrogant, crazy bloke who's like, yep, no, here's what we're doing, go for it. And just no second guessing, no crazy sort of what ifs. You plan ahead.
Yeah.
If things go pear-shaped, or, in this case, it went brilliantly. They wouldn't have expected to be leading on the first lap.
Yeah.
I think they sort of thought, fuck, we're in. It's like when, the ugly kid asked the hot chick out, and she's like, yeah. You're like, fuck, I didn't even know where I was going to go now.
Yeah, like shit. That was
I don't have any money. Shit. Got to sort some shit out.
Yeah, I mean, Ross Brawn's always been the sort of genius in those situations, and I think that's where F1's missing out. I think he could definitely slot into one of these teams like a Williams or McLaren and do a lot of good.
I think if they could afford him.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't be going cheap.
Well, no, it doesn't matter if he wants to. I think money probably is just a side.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
Once you're at the top step of F1 and you've been in it a while, the money's just a way of keeping score.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like,
I mean,
like Newey, he's like, oh, go design yachts. Fuck it.
Yeah, now he's designing an Aston Martin or something. I think he's doing that,
and that will be brilliant. I don't know anything about it other than Newey is designing an Aston Martin.
Yep.
Aston Martin's a gorgeous car already.
Yeah, but it's getting a bit like the 911, where it's just looking the same after the same after the same.
Yeah, but I like that. I like how they've got just this classic, quiet aggression about them.
Yeah,
it's kind of like looking at you like, well, if you want to go, we can go. I'll beat you.
Yeah,
but we can do that.
And I mean, it seems that sort of style is just being copied by every manufacturer now. I mean, right down through to the sort of Mitsubishi Lancers, through to the Mondeos, through to
the big open mouth
everything.
Grill.
Yeah, the open mouth grill, and also the rear lights, same as like the Jags got now.
Yeah, Aston Martin are kind of more Jaguar than Jaguar.
Yeah,
but Jaguar just tends to make cars for old bankers these days.
Yeah,
except with a few exceptions, but. Aston Martin, the sound of an Aston Martin is gorgeous too, and just the design and everything. I would love to own one.
Yeah,
I don't even care what model.
Actually, I'd love to borrow one. I think, I'd have much more fun if it was borrowed.
Yeah, rental.
Yeah, maybe I'll think about buying one after it. I'll kick the tyres. Nah, this car's fucked, mate.
Yeah, but speaking about Aston Martin, there's been rumours this week about them getting involved in F1.
Yeah.
I wish it was true, but I honestly can't see why Mercedes would translate 5%, because they own 5% of Aston Martin, why they would bother bringing Aston Martin in and rebadging their own engines. And Aston Martin's not going to develop their own engines.
Yeah.
So I really don't get why they would... What's in it for them?
I think it's just the straight up offsetting the cost of engines, mainly. That's what they've said. But, I mean, like most F1 deals, if it's going to go through, it'll be... from lots of dodgy backdoor sort of negotiating and shit. So you could see Red Bull or Dietrich getting together with the Mercedes team, and they'd work something out, gentleman's agreement, handshake, nothing written down. It's going to be good for the benefit of Formula One. Maybe we'll throw a bit of technology your way or something outside of Formula One will help you with. Because you got to remember that Red Bull's a fucking big brand. They're not in cars, but they're a fucking huge brand. They got plenty of cash, and they've got plenty that they can offer big car companies like Mercedes.
True, especially just in promotion.
Exactly.
Because, Mercedes, these days, you think of the most common Mercedes you see are the mummy-mobiles.
Yeah.
You see them lined up at the gates of school.
Yeah.
And Mercedes makes some gorgeous cars.
Fuck yeah.
Especially the AMG models.
Yeah. Well, mainly only the AMG.
Well, yeah, pretty much only those. But they make some boxy, tanky, just mass-produced crap too.
But you can see what their little AMG hatchies. Like, I think they look sensational. I love them. You can see them fanging around X Games at their rally drivers and that, which Mercedes aren't in that market, but Red Bull, fuck, they own the market.
Well, yeah, especially with Ken Block in his Fiesta.
Yeah, exactly.
Although Ken Block sort of branched out with his Hoonigan brand these days.
But Monster as well, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think Aston Martin will get involved directly. I wish they would, because I think it'd be a brilliant one for them, especially because at the moment they're a British brand, and that's kind of it. I think if they're going to compete with guys like Lamborghini, Audi, pretty much anything under that brand, under the VW headline, they need to be able to point to that sort of thing. And you've got Audi smashing the WEC, Porsche's in there now, Mercedes in F1, Ferrari as well. There's really nothing you can point to Aston Martin and say they own that segment, except for the British segment.
The British market, the Top Gear market, more or less.
And they're only competing against Jaguar, and Jaguar haven't done shit.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times when you hear stories like this and they get beat up, a lot of times it's just a decoy. Or it's some other sort of vested interest in maybe driving down the desire for them to partner up with a team like Audi or who they... The Audi, they were hooked up.
There were talks about Audi a while back.
So, I mean, if you put
Audi
out...
and Porsche.
Yeah, if you put out sort of this sort of press, it makes Audi and Porsche seem like you've got more options, which gives them less on the negotiating table.
And look...
So, I'll be surprised like you if they went with Aston Martin, but I think this is a little decoy happening for another... I think we'll see the real contender emerge probably about November, once the season's done.
And I would say leading those would be Porsche.
Yeah, I think Porsche.
Solely because Porsche has largely become irrelevant in a lot of the high-end car markets these days. Because if you're looking at... they make some gorgeous cars. The GT3 is a fantastic
They got the current winning Le Mans engine, don't they? Porsche with that, and there's a hybrid as well. So you can see some sort of cross-relevancy between those two sporting... those two.
And Webber was in the second car of that.
Yeah.
So, there's already a link.
Yep.
I could see a lot of value for Porsche there. Just because when you think fast cars...
Yep.
At the moment, it's all the Audi R8, Lamborghini. They've got
Mercs and Beamers, who's their main competitors, I think.
Yeah, I'll put them a little bit above Beamer. And maybe a little bit above Merc. But the most common Porsche you see again is the Mummy-mobile, the Cayenne, which is just a
or the Mr. Mummy Boxster. It's like I'm not under the thumb. I've got a Porsche.
And this is totally my real hair.
Yeah, you got a Boxster, champ.
In fairness, the Boxster, it is the shittiest Porsche.
It's an expensive MX-5.
But it's still a Porsche. It's still better than most of the other drop tops you're going to see.
Yeah.
But it's still... It's like dating a supermodel after she's retired for 20 years and has kind of let herself go.
Well,
and she still expects to be treated like a supermodel.
Dating supermodels, really nice but not hot younger sister, Yeah,
that too.
It's like you get to be in the same family as the rest of the hot ones, and you get to look at them often, but you don't get to stick the key in the ignition.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, if you go to one of those old swinger parties and everyone's throwing the keys in the fishbowl, everyone sees, a Porsche. And then, the chick sees that it's a Boxster, you're kind of like...
She sees your keys and throws them back.
Yeah, pretty much. But, the same with the Cayenne, it's just a tarted up Touareg.
Yeah,
and I can't stand that car. But apparently it sells like mad and the Shermans like making their money.
The truth is that everyone drives cars and not many people know that much about them. That's just the way everything is, you know what I mean? So
that drives me insane.
Yeah, me too. It drives me insane. Anyway, back to our race. We're known to go off track here and there.
Yeah, Kvyat.
We got off track more than Pasta, I think. Yeah,
well, this has gone longer than Pasta's race.
Hang on. Lap 22. That's when Lewis got the undercut. Came out just ahead of Perez, which was vital in him getting the undercut. But this is when he actually started managing his gap as well. He pulled out to, I think it was 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, out of DRS range. And then that's when they got the call for warning for rain. And that's when Nico was told to give it everything. Which, that's coincidentally what Christian Horner's going to have to do when Jerry divorces him. Give it everything.
Who'd be richer?
Well, Jerry now. Sure what she's got and half of Christian's. So.
Yeah. Actually, how long was that marriage? That was fuck all.
They got married like a couple months ago, I think. So.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I mean, they're probably still together having a happy life, but yeah, that won't stop me from making up rumours. Yeah, and then after that's when the science car stopped, bringing out the verge of safety car, which he went through. But yeah,
He's been unlucky, Science Junior. Like, I honestly, at the start of the season, I didn't rate him.
Yeah.
But he has done himself absolutely no harm. He's really good on track. He's just the car's a dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was the same as you. Like I rated him a little bit, but I always thought that Antonio Felix da Costa was going to get the other race seat, not Verstappen. But yeah, they made the right decision, so that's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah,
talking bollocks, and
I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped Verstappen back to another Formula next year, just because he looks good, but he needs a lot more seasoning.
Yeah,
and he's driving on tracks he's never seen.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, but he's still better than half the other people that are driving the thing. So
yeah, true. But he's 17. He's got 15 years left in him.
But generally, you haven't seen many people go out and then come back and do anything though. I think maybe Kobayashi will be the last one who had that season out with Ferrari. Who was the other one? Was it De Boer from... Or was it Degrassi from...
Hulkenberg dropped out for a season, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think he dropped out for a few races.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. It seems just tough to give a 17-year-old a car that's new as well.
Well, that's the last time it will happen because they've changed the rules now, haven't they? Where you've got to be 18, I think.
Yeah,
and to get your license.
I don't actually agree with that. I think if you can pass the license tests and people are willing to give you a drive, go nuts. I don't care if you're 7 years old.
Yeah.
Although I kind of think that'd be a bit rough. But considering Susie Wolff took 40 tries to pass the super license,
something stupid like that. Yeah,
and then Verstappen does it in an hour and a half. I think you can kind of say, he kind of deserves it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Susie could be the only pay reserve driver.
Pretty much.
Gives you money and I don't know. Anyway.
And that's not because she's a woman, it's because she's shit.
Yeah. She seems lovely. Like,
she seems fantastic.
I'd love to have her around the place.
Well, she seems quite passionate, but I think she'd be better off finding an alternate way to contribute to Formula
Williams Formula E team. Chuck Susie in there.
I think she should get smashed there too.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to give some positives to her. I don't want to completely slam her. She seems nice.
Yeah, I'd rather see Silvestri in F1, to be honest.
Yeah.
Simona Di Silvestri. I think she has a lot of talent, but then again, she's not winning. She's competing in IndyCar and doing quite well.
Yeah.
But well, anyway, more tangents.
Yeah. Well, we've got plenty more coming up too. So the rest of the race was when the rain started coming in, and that sort of triggered off the pit stops. Vettel overtook Kimi, and then Kimi pulled in for Inters for the first one of the main ones that
he pulled in about 3 laps too early.
Yeah, it was, and it looked like Vettel was chasing him down, and it was a gamble, but it wasn't just a silly gamble. The track wasn't wet enough, but no one anticipated that it was going to dry out and then come heavy. Everyone anticipated just that one block of rain, and that was it.
Well, this is where Williams did make the right choice, because Bottas was saying, I need to come in. They're like, no, stay out.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be the correct choice.
Yep.
Had he come in, he would have had to make another pit stop, and it would have been shit.
Yeah, and like they said on the broadcast, was the thing that messed them up was that they had to stack their drivers afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that's why Williams should have driven this race from the front when you can learn from those pit stops where you pit Massa on the same lap or on the first lap for the first stint, and you avoid the undercut from Lewis, and you give yourself that space where when this pit stop comes around, you're going to have a bit more of a gap where you don't need to stack the drivers. And they didn't literally stack behind each other, but Bottas had to slow down in order to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, he still lost about 6 seconds.
Yeah, and which we saw he only just come out in front of Nico after that pit stop, and Nico took him in. I think it wasn't too much.
Unfortunately, Bottas probably could have been on the top step, and he had to settle for 5th.
Yeah.
Which is, it's still a good result.
Yep.
But nowhere near what he could have been.
Yeah, and I mean, Hamilton got lucky for the lap that he chose to pit, and they were saying that him and Vettel. Well, I heard Vettel's post race comments, and he said that it was just a split second up, diving in, let him know, came in Inters, and it was simple as that. It was just a line call where it was one that he made. Came in. I think Lewis was the same, and when he was going into there, it looked line cool. As soon as his tyres went on, it started bucketing down.
Yeah. I think if they could decide the perfect moment, it was probably about 30 seconds after Hamilton did.
Yep. Yeah.
But, you can't do a lap in 30 seconds. So
Yep.
that was the prime lap to come in.
Yep.
And Vettel was probably right on the dot.
Yep.
He had the absolute perfect chance. And even with that, he had just some serious pace.
Yeah. And look, this gave the sort of crescendo to the race, which I really enjoyed as well. I thought it was a good little variable that came through, and one that you can usually expect at the British Grand Prix, a bit of rain.
Yeah.
So you just have to make sure you keep that clean for the cricket, because none of this bullshit Monty Panesar and fuckers hanging on for a day, batting, blocking, and doing a Graham Gooch.
Yeah, no, they're going to get smashed.
Yeah. So, yeah, the rain came too late for Kimi, who pitted about 3 laps too early.
I feel sorry for Kimi. He was chewing their ear off as well in the radio message.
Yeah.
They're trying to tell him everything, and he's just like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, especially since you can't really understand Kimi's English at the best times, and the Italian team usually speak in Italian, so I don't know how they talk at all.
What do you want me to do? Just shut up and let me drive.
I think that's Force India.
Yeah, I can't do a Raikkonen accent. It's unimpressionable.
Yeah.
I think I need to remove all emotion from my head.
I think you did pretty good. Like before we started recording, it was pretty decent, but could be just a bit of the spotlight.
Yeah, that was way better. In fact, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect. I wish you could have seen it, heard it.
Yeah, I'll draw a picture.
So yeah, that Vettel came out in 3rd place after the following pit stops happened. That was what he gained out of it. Lewis overtook Massa easy on Inters. Wasn't really hard to regain that place again. And then Massa came in, obviously, the lap later, which led to the double stack, and that's when it all went to shit for Williams, and they would have some serious meetings about their strategy calls, pressure decisions.
And their speed in the wet, it was terrible.
Yeah, well, it looked like, because when you saw at the start of the race, when they were getting off the line, you'd see them go around the corners, and there'd be a little bit of a twitch in the rear end coming around high-speed corners, but it'd be controlled twitch, which makes me think that they actually got a pretty decent aero package there. It looks simple, but it looks like it might actually be quite effective, but it looks like they're lacking mechanical grip, because as soon as the rain hit...
It might also be their gear ratio. Maybe they're a bit lower geared, or they've got a bigger gap between, say, 3rd and 4th than Mercedes.
Yeah, it could be too.
If they're getting on the gas too soon and there's too much torque, you get spin in the wet.
Yeah.
But they just seem to be so ginger. And we didn't see them spin in the wet, so they didn't push it too far.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is they couldn't push it too far. You could see him definitely struggling around corners, and you see him getting out of shape a lot, like lots of the arse trying to come around. So I think maybe their strength, because they just brought a new aero package from the last testing as well, I think, because we had the fast tracks, and they've got the more twistier tracks coming up. And I think, they maybe just lack their mechanical grip, and they got exposed in the wet. But only they will know that. It's just postulating, really.
Hey, we're like real journalists. We can make shit up.
Well, yeah. Well, to be honest, listen to the commentary on Sky coverage. I like DC. I like Damon Hill. I like Brundle. I like Bruno Senna when he's doing his analysis. But the rest of them are fucking shithouse, to be honest. I'm thinking, if you want to rattle on and pretend you know what you're talking about, get a podcast like us.
Yeah. And we can pretend we're the best of them.
Fucking oath we can.
It's it's hard watching Silverstone with the British commentary, just because they're so parochial. Look, I don't pretend that Australians are any different.
No.
But it just gets boring talking about the crowd, how much they're saluting Lewis Hamilton.
It's just outlandish statements too, like saying that the the maggots. What's that? The
Maggots and Beckett's.
Maggots and Beckett's in that sequence of corners saying definitely one of the most beautiful in the world. Like, get the fuck out! Are you serious? Probably the best one I could come to mind would be Laguna Seca with the corkscrew and leading up to that over the blind hill.
Parabolica.
You got Parabolica, yeah. You got the sequence of a Rouge coming up, the left, right, then over the blind crest.
Bath at Monaco.
And then you look at this and it's just like a squiggle. And not interesting at all. At all.
It's, 1-2 corner. And that's fine. It's fine to be proud of your home race.
That's all right. We gave the English lots of credit at the start of the show, so now we got free reign. We can just slam again now.
Yeah, I mean, look. In fairness, it has been a rough time for English sportsmen.
That's great. Love it. Except for Lewis. Lewis been killing it. So
yeah, they haven't really won shit except for Lewis Hamilton, and on top of that, they get to beat a German. Which
on top of that, plus they're winning stuff for the Germans as well. So kind of a backhanded slap. Is that what they say?
Backhanded compliment. I don't know.
Some shit.
It's one of those better than poking the eye with a sharp stick kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he's like, I beat a German for the Germans.
Yeah.
But well, look, they got out and supported him. That's the most important
You
thing.
could be driving for VW, so it could be worse.
You'd only need one tank.
I have helped you not.
But no Polish Grand Prix, is there? But it's good to see they turned up. Even though they knew it'd probably rain, they all had their umbrellas, they still turned up. There's plenty of tracks that can't say that.
Yeah, and plus with the ticket prices are fucking expensive as. Like, the cheapest one's like 99 quid. In Australian, that's like
$3 million.
Like $3 million or something like that. And the thing is, that was a price reduction. And like we said at the start, they've just had, they got Wimbledon going. They just had the Formula E weekend. The Ashes have just started. So when you're looking at, they try to promote this as a family race. When you're doing your family budget, I mean, it's all these events are being packed out. It's pretty hard to squeeze that in. So it was an excellent job from the families of Britain.
So what you need to do is all the British guys that go to F1, grab the family, come over to Australia and see Bathurst.
Yeah.
And see how they handle that shit. So what you do, you go in about a week earlier, bury a couple of cartons, make sure it's in a spot you remember, and then you leave a little a tarp underneath the fence, so that next time, come back in, climb under the fence.
Makes it easier to slide in the carton too.
Yeah, go grab your tinnies, and there you got your beer, your racing, maybe a chair, and if there's a portaloo nearby that's not full of other people's fecal matter, that's even better.
And when you go home, take your fucking backpackers with you. Just keep on doing dumb shit in the bush, like, going for a run without water. And there's another dude in Northern Territory that got lost again, and it's like, dude.
But in fairness, our backpackers over there tend to impregnate all their youth and then fuck off to Australia. So
that's true. Start
probably,
fights.
Yeah, probably fairly even.
Yeah, but just don't. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Yeah, I can see on that one. All right, so should we move on to next round?
Yeah, next round they're heading off to the Hungaroring.
I still don't know how to say that properly.
Budapest.
Budapest. I've heard good things about Budapest.
Yeah, sure.
They have. I remember I used to work with a chick from Hungary, and she was saying that the food in Budapest is amazing. Crepes, especially, she was saying. Crepes. So it's more useless information for you. Yeah, go to Budapest, eat a crepe, watch some races.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that Ricciardo won last year. He's not going to win this year.
No.
In fact, looking at last year, it was Ricciardo, Alonso, Hamilton.
Yeah, actually, it was on my birthday last year. I had some money on Ricciardo.
Yep, you would have lost it.
No, I won. He won the race.
No, you would have lost it this year, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, when it happens, then yeah.
But yeah, he ended up 1, Alonso 2, and Hamilton 3. You're not going to see Ricciardo and Alonso there.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Well, they'll be there, just not on the podium.
I don't know if they'll finish.
They might be there. I don't know.
But the Hungaroring circuit has a beautiful long main straight. The DRS zone will be there, and that's just going to be heaven for Mercedes and Williams.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to overtake on the inside or the outside, because when you're coming in, the outside turn into turn 1, even if you're stuck on the outside there, you can hold your line, and then you've got the inside for the next little left.
Yeah.
And it's just a perfect passing point. If you've got the more powerful car and DRS, there's no reason why you can't get by if you're even within the 20 metres of the guy in front of you by 3/4 down the main straight. And then you've got a little bit more straight to just consolidate your lead.
And the thing is, with Mercedes, like, everyone talks about they've got out and out the fastest engine, but they got just about the best aero package too.
They do.
And it's just integration with their chassis and engine.
Well, it's not just the top speed either. It's the most economical engine out there.
Yeah. Reliable.
It's super reliable. They have got the best package possible.
Yeah. Yep.
They've managed to push the envelope as well as keep it reliable, which, if you can do that, you're going to win.
So it's always going to be hard to chase down the Mercedes unless you have varying conditions with a bit of rain or something, or, I don't know, Bernie turn the sprinklers on.
Yeah, or unless you can innovate your way out of it, which at the moment no one really can.
Well, you can't, because you're restricted with development, which is what Fernando has been going on about, the shit, because you understand what you need to do, but you physically are not allowed to do it. So you're stopping the sort of flow of ingenuity coming through Formula One and down into road cars or whatever else can be applied to, which is pretty diverse in where it goes.
Yeah, he's right with that, and I can see they're trying to save money and minimise development during the season. But I do think that during the off season, it should be hell for leather.
Yeah.
because the argument is that you want small teams to compete with the large teams. That just won't happen.
No. Yeah.
The only way it does is if the smaller team innovates enough that they can counteract the budget of the big teams.
Yeah.
Like what happened with Braun.
Yeah, exactly.
They managed to innovate the blown diffuser, and all of a sudden every other team's trying to play catch-up, but by that time it was too late.
Exactly.
You cannot beat the big teams unless you innovate.
Yeah, and I think the best example of this from this race would be the interesting new nose design of the Force India. If you had seen it, we'll probably put a picture up on our website, which I definitely will. Got a couple of nostrils.
Probably, definitely.
Well, yeah, I definitely will if I probably remember. I probably will if yeah, that one. It's got a couple of new nostrils on it, which is interesting development. Little loophole which other teams hadn't considered. Apparently, what it does also is allow airflow to be more consistent coming through under the nose and through the splitter there, and they can shape vortexes between the wheels around the Coke bottle. That's what they say. But it's very just on the limit of the legalities. One of the things were that it has sort of a ducting underneath it, which means that if you're looking straight down, you can't see through to the bottom. It's only at the angle you can see sort of the road or the back of the car. So somehow that makes it within the legalities of the aero in front of the crash structure, and it's still passing crash testing. Also, it seems like they've got more rake on the car for this race as well, which would have helped to have a lower angle of attack on sort of front and rear wings, allowing them a bit more speed without sacrificing some downforce and grip, which I think is a big reason why you saw Nico Hülkenberg have a bit of a flyer off the start and hold it.
Well, yeah. Do you reckon they just hire one person to look for loopholes and shit?
Yeah, probably. Well, to be honest, they've probably got, I don't know, like a sweatshop back in India somewhere with people just figuring this shit out.
Well, there's, worse uses for lawyers.
Yeah, and
like being lawyers
and staff as well. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do like the look of the Force India. I mean, those nostrils.
Yeah, I like it.
Sort of look a bit like the Holden Monaro bonnet.
It looks like the stretchers used in AFL and that, where you carry someone off. You're like the little handle where someone has a crash. Instead of having the truck come out, you just get a marshal each side, stick his hand there, lift it up, away you go.
Yeah, or like the Baywatch flotation device.
Yeah, yeah.
The one that wasn't boobs.
Oh shit, yeah.
Are you going there?
But no, I think and it just shows the small teams, like you're saying, where you've got to smart your way out of it. And so I really love the way they've been thinking there at Force India. They've been doing a lot, and there's Vijay Mallya, he came up with the term uncrap F1.
Yeah, I think that should be a t-shirt.
Yeah, so do I.
In fact, they could probably make a fair bit of cash out of it.
In fact, that's the worst idea ever, and nobody else do it, okay? Just they'll be on a website next week.
It might be hand-drawn, but it'll be on there.
Don't care. It'll be permanent marker on white Bonds t-shirts or something like that. But
we've got 3 weeks until the Hungary race. I think we will see a bit more innovation in the aero, which is kind of unfortunate. That's the only real movement they've got, because the aero is the most expensive thing they can innovate.
Yeah, and especially with the testing they've just done, it takes a little while for those parts to come through and the variations to be made after the testing. So you look at sort of the fallout from those testing days coming around this race as well. Yeah,
I think you're going to see a little bit of a shake-up come Hungary, but I think it's still going to be Mercedes head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah, I agree.
And you might even see Williams make another step towards Ferrari.
Yeah, well, you picked the Williams to finish on the podium for the British GP, I think. Almost got there, just got shafted a bit on that one.
Bottas.
So, yeah, got shafted on that one.
I'm blaming Massa for fucking me up.
Yep. Oh, just blame.
I was right, Massa was wrong.
Rob Smedley, blame him. Fuck it, why not?
I'm blaming everyone. I'm blaming Toto Wolff as well.
So yeah,
Santa, you prick.
I think that's probably a smart call having the Williams be up there. They'll learn from this last race, and well, you'd hope they would anyway. But yeah, I'd have to agree. I think they'll be up there. Probably the Force India, as we said before, it's been looking good. They've had a few aero developments, which should be able to free up a bit more, or allow them to bolt on a bit more downforce with running the extra rake. So yeah, I think they're probably the safe bets. And the only other thing that's come out of that I think we need to touch on would be the uncrap at Formula 1 meeting that they had, where they're talking about what they're going to do for 2017 strategy-wise.
Yeah, well,
exciting.
All they've really done is talk, though.
Well, no, they're changing the...
they're doing a little bit in August.
No assisted clutch, which was already slated for 2017. They went, nah, that's coming in now. So that'll be on August or next race. I can't remember.
I honestly think the best thing they can do is allow much wider options for innovation.
Yeah. Open it up.
Open it up in certain ways to give people a plus and a minus. To say, all right, you can have a bigger rear wing, but you need a smaller front wing.
Yeah.
Give them options.
Yep.
So you can have a shorter nose, but you have to have a higher rake or something. Give them a plus and minus, because you're going to have some teams go, all right, well, this is better for these circuits,
Yep.
and this is better for those ones. But we can only pick one, so we're going to pick one that goes for these circuits,
Yep.
and then another team will go for another one, and you'll end up seeing a bit of give and take.
Yep. I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, so VJ, if you want to take that on and take that to the Uncrap F1 meeting that you're going to be having at some gentleman's club somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can do that. That's totally fine.
Yeah, because also what that allows is different strategies which are going to allow for more variables to play out during a race. So that, let's say you could have, I mean, it's always hard to regulate, but let's say certain points for aero development and certain points for engine development. So you're going to have teams which aren't manufacturers of engines but can have their own aero, concentrate on aero development, and teams who are their own suppliers, they're going to have to choose between they're going to follow a strong aero philosophy or they're going to follow a strong engine development philosophy. At least that way it allows different teams to catch up, but also it'll allow the main manufacturers to have more closer racing, because you can have an alternate strategy which may or may not be faster, but will allow overtaking in different parts of the track.
One other thing about the Uncrap F1 meetings that I thought was good is going to make the cars look better.
Yes.
Because at the moment, they look fine. There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, but dude, if you could just pick up a pencil with no rules at all and draw what you thought a Formula 1 car would look like at its best, would look nothing like these cars now.
No, the look was good for late 90s, early 2000s.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think it does seem that every 20 years you get a massive reboot in the way the cars are designed. And I think we're due.
Yeah.
You look back at even the 80s, they had the massive tyres and the massive rear wing.
Which they're bringing back.
Yeah, and those things were damn near uncontrollable for mere mortals.
Yep.
And it took just ultimate level of skill to make it around Monaco without dying.
Yeah, and usually, I don't know, probably half drunk too or something.
Well...
yeah, James Hunt was probably high as well, banging one of those things around the 70s.
Who knows? He enjoyed his life.
Yeah, but one of the things they said they are bringing back is, I think it was 420mm tyres, tyre width. And
the big-ass tyres.
Yeah, the front one's going to stay the same. And also allow different front wings.
Yeah, which I'm a big fan of.
Rear wing, sorry.
Yeah.
Rear wing.
They can have a couple of different options.
Yeah.
I would like to see them adopt a bit more of the IndyCar look.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing I was going to mention. Is I really like looking at IndyCars. I love the wheel arch sort of aero pieces.
The canards or whatever they're
I
called.
don't know what they're calling them.
That cover off the rear wheels. And Formula E's got the ones that cover off the front wheels as well.
Yeah.
I think that looks really good.
Yeah. I like the sort of... you could be a little bit more aggressive with the Formula E front wing sort of wheel arch configurations, but I really like the IndyCar sort of integration of the rear arches into the main body. Looks awesome. I really like it.
Yeah, so do I. I think you might also see that slow down pit stops a bit.
Yeah.
Because you have to pull directly out. You can't just pull out for a couple of centimetres and then off.
So if you overshoot your mark, then that'll make, tenth of seconds or seconds, which is huge.
Yeah, and I think it will increase the pressure on pit guys, but if they're able to go a full season without a breakdown, I'm just shocked.
Fucking oath, man. If you manage, especially that, and you got a wife, Jesus, some kids, fucking imagine them trying to figure out that pressure.
And just imagine like the amount of training you'd need. If you're sitting at home and all of a sudden someone flicks the TV on and it's like, he's coming to pits, and all of a sudden you've grabbed your plate, thrown it in the dishwasher, turned it on, and then you've got another plate in your hand ready to go before you even realise what you've done.
It's like a veteran coming back and hearing fireworks or something. Shit! What the fuck?
You got PTSD.
Yeah.
Jeez, if you've got a newborn, all of a sudden you've changed his nappy, put him on a new one, and thrown him out the door.
Yo, cover!
You got your hand in the air.
But Dallara build those Indy chassis as well, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So it's not too sort of far out of the realms of Formula One. It's definitely something that could be raised in those meetings, and I'm sure it will be. But one thing I do agree with sort of the people who are in the strategy meetings is that don't listen to the drivers. That's the worst thing you can do. So I know Lewis has been said that I'd like to be consulted on these changes. No, do not listen to the drivers.
Judging by his fashion alone, the car would end up looking like the Homer Simpson car.
Yes. Actually, his glasses look like the scientists from The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
That dude? Yeah, those little things.
But I think the drivers should be able to have an input. They just shouldn't be listened to.
Yeah, I mean, they had their driver survey, that was good. All they got shot down. Yeah, refueling, everyone's refueling. Nah, bullshit. Which, I mean, I want refueling, but you've got to fix other things first. Because if you can't follow a car, then it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, I like the idea of refueling,
Yeah.
but I can certainly see why they're against it.
Yeah. A lot of tracks, when you can't overtake like that, it's going to be in your best interest to just fill up from the start like they are already.
Yeah, and as much as you do like variation in the finish order, you don't want to see refueling decide that.
Yeah. There's other avenues we can go, they're going to be cheaper.
Honestly, I think the best thing to do would just be give points for fastest lap like they do in FE.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to see every car on track putting in quali laps in the last 5 laps.
Well, I was thinking when I was watching the race today, what about if you had an already determined sort of monetary value for each point? So you score a point, you'll get that money like that week. So it's already set up there, and you can use that as an incentive to where you're going to spend your development. Because if you do it early in the year, you might be able to make more money quicker and turn that over into more development, as opposed to someone who might have a different strategy of, a different way. But
That presumes Bernie and CVC want to give out money.
this is true.
They seem to be pretty reticent to let $1 out of their hand unless they've examined every way they can keep it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah. Well, I don't understand a lot of what they've been thinking anyway, so... but, at least we've got some sensible ideas being pushed forward, and hopefully Formula 1 can be uncrapped.
Well, yeah, and, part of that will be listening to the fans,
Yeah.
or at least some of them.
Us,
for example.
Us, yeah. Listen to us.
In fact, look, Bernie, mate, if you need a bit of a hand uncrapping F1, we're available.
Yeah.
Look, you're a billionaire, so we're not going to go too crazy, but I think, 50 mil, that'd be a fair call.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Each?
The only thing is he doesn't use internet, so someone send him a fucking messenger pigeon or whatever he does these days to correspond with anyone.
Just draw it on his car in lipstick or some shit, I don't know.
Yeah, can he still drive? Surely he can't still drive, can he?
I think if you're a billionaire, you do what you want.
But yeah, that's true.
What's going to
actually.
happen?
If he flies, he doesn't drive fucking nowhere, to be honest. He's
He
a
can
helicopter,
drive-
he's driving...
He can drive whatever he wants, wherever he wants. What are you going to do? You pull him over.
True.
You pull him over and say, you don't have a license? Nah.
Yeah.
This your car? Oh, no, maybe. All right, I have to call this in. Well, I've already called in to the Queen, and she said, fuck off. Do you reckon he'll get knighted?
Well, fuck, who cares? Knight's a book full of shit anyway.
What's going to
Gives a
happen?
shit.
Because when you get knighted, you have to kneel. Poor Liz is going to fall on her ass if she tries to put the sword in.
Oh, you're going to say, I thought you meant like Bernie was going to knight Liz or something. Get the old duck on her knees, wave a sword around her head. You're knighted.
Neither of them could lift the damn sword in a few years.
Yeah, true. I mean, probably Bernie hasn't been able to lift his sword for fucking decades, I reckon.
He's probably got carbon fibre down there.
Can you imagine that? I knight you, Sir Liz, with his fucking Bernie sword out there, donger on the head and the shoulders.
He's probably one of the few that get away with it.
Yeah, that's true,
If she can get down low enough.
That old Bernie. Oh, golly gosh. Yeah.
I just reckon she'd smack him the fuck out, though.
Probably. I mean, well, they didn't get to be monarchs from being friends, did they? There's blood
No,
and
there's a fair
fucking
bit of-
all sorts
fair
of
bit of
dodgy
sword
shit.
play
and
involved.
Fucking your uncle, cousins.
in and out of the bedroom.
everything, yeah. Lots of dodgy. Maybe I watched too much Game of Thrones. I don't know. Maybe it was just peaceful and, yeah. could be wrong.
Yeah, no.
No.
No, the Windsors were probably the more peaceful mob that got in there.
Well, I mean, just look at Prince Charles and you tell me that's not fucking decades and years and centuries of inbreeding.
Yeah, then you see Prince Harry and you're like, yeah, one of these things is not like the
Yeah.
other. Mind you, he's my favourite, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't have favourites. Fuck 'em. All right. We got anything else?
No, well, Hungaroring's going to be another couple of weeks away. They've got a 3-week break between the races now.
Yep.
So we're going to see a lot of new ideas, new packages, and maybe a bit of new commentary. I don't know, a bit of luck.
Yeah, maybe I'll be able to view the BBC, not stream. What do they call it when you pay for it?
Stream, yeah.
Stream, yeah, BBC stream.
Yeah, so everyone in London and everyone in Australia who's got a London-based VPN can view BBC.
Yeah,
And
rather.
it's spectacular, actually.
Yeah,
So I've heard.
so I've heard. Yeah, so we'll be back doing a wrap up for that race. Also, we'll be doing wrap ups of each Ashes test. So check back in if you want to have a gander at those. And
Yeah, and if Australians getting whooped, I'll look like a complete idiot. But
that's the price you pay. I'll be on the same. I'm all in. So
yeah, I think Australia's got that in the bag unless the English weather manages to come across and end it in a draw. But look, it was a great race. I think the uncrap F1 hashtag is trending, and I think it's going to gain some traction.
Yep. I'm fully supportive of their efforts.
Yep, so we'll see you after Hungary.
All right, thanks, guys.